12 and a half. And, I slowed the reps down. So, all right, to my own surprise, I found myself wanting to do this. Well, it's not a hammer press, a chest press machine, but I found myself wanting to do this chest press machine again, which some of you might know, some of you may not. I have a love hate relationship with this machine. Sometimes it feels good, and then other times it feels like, which I feel like this was maybe my own doing, but sometimes it felt like I just wasn't getting that isolation and peak contraction in the chest. But I think, again, to my own doing, I think it was because back when I did this more frequently, I would probably go a little too heavy. It was an ego thing. And I mean, I'm going pretty heavy here, but I've gotten a lot stronger. It's a lot more manageable. I mean, you'll kind of see I'm not like bouncing the fucking reps off the bottom of the machine or nothing like that. It's controlled. Um, and like I said, to my surprise, it actually felt pretty good last week, and it's a relief on my back, my lower back injury, which is getting better. Again, slowly, um, but it's still getting better. But for some reason, when I'm in a seated position like this, it's easier. Like when I'm trying to lay flat and do a bench, it just feels uncomfortable, and so I might be doing this machine maybe for a few weeks, even after this. We'll see how it goes. But it's kind of like a was a Doctor Jekyll, Mister Hyde thing. Sometimes this would feel good, other times it wouldn't. But with how good it felt last week, and again, last week was the first time I've done this machine in several months, and with how good it felt, I found myself wanting to do it again, which is usually not the case with this machine. A lot of times I would just throw it in just to throw something in that was different. But I found myself wanting to do this today, and that's not usually not the case with this machine. Um, and this is just a kind of proven point um, that not everything works or feels good for every person. I'm sure there's some people that come in this gym that do this and they fucking love it. And based off last week, I would say yeah, I love it too. But just my extended experience with this machine over a given a good chunk of time, not just one exercise or one workout. It's been up and down, up and down. So we'll see how it goes today. But again, I found myself wanting to do it, so I'm gonna do it. I got 5.5 plates again. Um, I just want to focus here on just squeezing my chest, and I kind of hate to sound like a broken record, but it's worth repeating. I want my chest to be the driving factor. Again, that's where I think I would make the mistake here. You can. The thing is with these machines, you can load up a bunch of weight, and if you can't get it, you don't have to worry about getting stuck under a bar. There's no bar here coming across where I'd be trapped. If you can't get it, just set it down. So the temptation to ego lift here, I feel like, is increased even more. Um, and I don't even like I wasn't ego lifting to the point where I was putting weight on here that it was basically me just trying to one rep max. But I would definitely do heavy sets of like five, and I think given my approach now compared to then, and just being able to look back in hindsight, I was going too heavy to accomplish really what I was trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? So, and that was usually I'd usually have 6 plates, maybe six and like a 10, like in that range. But now 5.5. Last week I did 10, I believe, on the first set. I might be mistaken. I might be off like one rep or something, but I think it was like 10. We'll see how it goes today. You guys know how it is. Not every week's gonna be the same. I could be stronger, it could be weaker. So, but pretty much max reps here, however many I can get. All right, just being brutally honest here, I don't think that felt as good as last week, but it still didn't feel terrible. Um, I'm gonna ride it out. I mean, I've already loaded it up and I've already done a set. The only way I'd back out now is if it felt just atrocious. You know what I mean? Or just maybe I tweaked something and I didn't like this specific machine or movement to keep going. That's not, none of those things happen. So, and I always like to sit here and give a minute, just kind of sit and feel like, okay, what actually happened there. Because sometimes initially, right after, can be misleading. And as I'm sitting here, I already start to feel something in my chest. So that's the ultimate goal for a chest day. So I'm gonna, I'll do two more. I highly doubt I'll get 10 again. That was really tough, but pretty much probably just max reps, two more sets, and then we'll lighten it up and do a couple more. I don't know why I'm breathing so hard. I've done one set and I'm breathing pretty hard. I mean, granted, it's a lot of weight. You're gonna exert some energy, but damn. I will say I have laid back on the cardio since this back injury. So I've been doing the 60-day blitz, but not being able to do cardio like I want has really messed things up. So I'm actually kind of considering extending it. I don't know. I'm in a tricky spot. You know what I mean? But I like with my lower back being how it is. I've been trying to come in here with focusing on my main goal, which is building muscle, doing what I can, working around the injury. But I don't want to overexert myself, do too much. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do just enough without overdoing it. I'm trying to limit how much I actually move. Um, so I've been coming here just lifting weights. I've taken out cardio just so I could just rest in between each session. Just give my back some time to heal, without putting too much more stress on. I mean, even though my cardio is sitting on a stationary bike, still, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm just trying to be extra cautious. Maybe some of you could probably argue I'm being too cautious. I could probably definitely still go over there and do 20 minutes on the bike, but I don't want to take that chance. I want to get better. So hopefully after this week, I'm hoping just one more week, and the next week I'll throw cardio back in. Like I said, I might just consider these past 3 weeks like a pause, maybe in the 60-day blitz. I've been counting it down like it still has been, but I haven't been able to do cardio like I want, and it's just I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I'll do two more here, and then we'll keep going. Man, that set felt way fucking better. I felt like that first set I wasn't fully, I don't know, awake or really in it. You know what I mean? So this set I try to attack it with more controlled aggression, not just wild, loose cannon aggression. Because if you do that, you come in here, you just start slinging stuff around, completely throwing form and all of that out the window. I mean, you're just asking to get hurt. You want that controlled aggression. That's how I like to phrase it. Like you're attacking the weights, but it's under control. You know, you're fucking under fucking control. You know what I mean? But that aggression is still there. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. I can't make it any clearer. Okay. Hopefully, you guys get what I'm saying. That felt way better though, man. Way fucking better. All right, let's do one more. I'm hyped now. Do one more, and then, well, you guys already know after that. All right, that ended way better than it started. I feel really good about those last two. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first one was still solid, but these past two sets blew that first one out of the water. Just with how, if nothing else, just with how it felt. I mean, I'm getting tongue tied. I can't even fucking talk about it. I'm so excited. That's when you know you're a true gym rat or a gym bro. When you get a good set or two, and it gets you so hyped and so excited you can't even fucking formulate your sentences. I can barely think. All right, let me go down to 4 plates. I'll slow the reps down even a little more. Try to get more time under tension, but still squeeze the chest, make the chest the driving force here, and we'll be sitting pretty, man. All right, I found the song of the day, and I got it on repeat. I'm gonna wear it out until it quits giving me that feeling. But sometimes you just find that song, and it's different each workout, but you find it, and it just fucking locks you in and gets you hyped. And when I do find that song of each workout, it's on repeat until I'm tired of it. I'm ready. That same thing happened last week. I did a lot fewer reps than I thought I could. You know, I took off well over 100 pounds total, and I got 12 and a half. But again, you know, I slowed the reps down, so I'm not gonna try to beat myself up too much. But I think that's something that anybody that aspires to be better than they are. Really, that's what we suffer from, man. We always are overcritical, maybe, of our own selves, you know. But on the other hand, it's what kind of keeps me going. Yeah, I thought I could do more than 12, but I didn't. That's fine though. I'll do one more, do a drop set. That'll be fine. Wow, yeah, my chest is annihilated. So pressing is probably done for the day. From here on out, it's just going to be accessory, different kinds of flies. Whew, buddy. Yeah, let's clean this up. I'll figure out what kind of flies I want to do next. Ideally, something for lower chest. If I can squeeze in under the cables, I'm not sure. If not, something else. I kind of lucked out here because as soon as I walked over there to see if I could use these, the guy that was using them got done. Or maybe he was just saying that and was being nice and let me work in either way. I'll take it. I'll start with it on 5. I feel like it's gonna be too light. Probably have to bump it up, but yeah, these are high to low cable flies. Emphasis on the lower chest. Now, I always say if you squeeze your chest right, any body part really, if you squeeze it right with each exercise you do, you're gonna work the whole chest. But does that mean that this doesn't emphasize lower chest a little more than the rest? It does. This definitely does emphasize lower chest more, just like an incline fly or press would emphasize upper chest more. But like I say, if you squeeze right, the whole chest is gonna basically look at it like this. If I tell you go do incline press, it's gonna hit your upper chest more. But does that mean your upper chest is the only thing doing the work? No, I mean that's just stupid to even think that. Obviously, other muscles are helping, and that includes your chest. Your lower chest is helping, your mid chest is helping. But again, the emphasis is on the upper chest when you do that. Same thing here. Is on the lower chest. Does that mean that my arms aren't helping move the fucking cables and the handles? No. Does that mean that my upper chest and mid chest isn't helping contract those handles together? No. But it doesn't mean lower chest is doing probably more work. Yeah, it does. So I know I explained that way more than I needed to, but anyways, high to lows, lower chest, 3 sets with a drop set. Um, yeah, I almost just added more weight because I know this is gonna be light. Let me just do a set. What's it gonna hurt if the first one's a little light? If that's the case, I'll just go a little slower to make it harder. All right, that's actually a little tougher than I thought, but I'm actually thinking more. And I think just because I slowed it down, like I said I would, it took some reps off. What, do 13 or 14? I'll add two. Now that might be too much. If I need to adjust on the third set, I will. But let's try that. All right, what do you say we finish this workout with some upper chest? Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip incline dumbbell flies. That is my favorite, except for obviously an incline press. But that's probably my favorite thing to do for upper chest. Again, excluding press. But I've been doing it a lot, and my shoulders are kind of tight today. So I just want to be a little safe, and I'll probably roll a bench right here and do low to high seated cable flies. Now I'm doing it seated because it's just a little easier to stabilize. Takes a little stress off my back as well. I feel like I could just isolate better seated. 2, 3 sets of that, and probably it. All right, I had to do a little quick test run here because it's been a while since I've done this, so I didn't know exactly. I couldn't remember, I guess, exactly where the bench should be, how much weight I should even do. But I think I got it figured out. So we'll see how this first one goes, though. That'll tell me everything. All right, just because I don't think there's anything that's perfect, I won't use that word, but it was close. I mean, that's about as good as I could hope for. I'm gonna do 2 more. Usually, when I do incline dumbbell flies, I'll only do 2 just because there's a lot more stabilization required. And I mean, I'm using heavier weight, so it's just more of my nervous system, especially at the end of a workout. You know, this is a little more manageable. I'm seated, so I'm stable, and I can just focus on squeezing my chest. Um, I mean, there is some stabilization, but not as much as using 80-pound dumbbells on incline flies. But saying all that, I think I'm gonna do 3 sets instead of 2. Why not? Fuck it. All right, I think that's gonna be it. Wow, that was good. Let's check out the pump. All right, if I wasn't so lazy, I would be doing those more often. Those low to high seated cable flies. That felt amazing, like fucking amazing on my chest. Um, yeah, but I mean, and it's not even, I might start doing them more, and maybe it was just I just needed a week off from doing incline dumbbell flies. You can kind of overdo it with certain things, and definitely with certain exercises, to where it gets to the point it's like you just get not sick and tired of it, but it just starts to lose its, you know, magic touch, if you will, a little bit. So taking a workout or two or three off from it and then coming back to it, you'll find sometimes can kind of bring the magic back, you know. But yeah, the last exercise I did, man, that was, and I like it almost more. At least maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. Like right now, I feel like I like it more, um, because the stabilization is a lot. There's a lot less required in that area. You know what I mean? I can kind of just almost like lock and brace myself in, push against the back seat of the bench, and it's all just chest. It's great isolation on my chest. Um, and it's quicker too. Well, once I get it set up, it's quicker than getting the dumbbells and a little easier on my joints. So I mean, I don't know. I might do it for, and again, it all depends on if I can even get to the cables at that time that I want to do them. That's a big thing in here. Those cables are very popular. So I got a great pump. Let's check it out. Whew. I almost worked up more of a sweat posing than I did during the whole workout. But then I put the shirt back on. I don't even know if you can see it anymore, but it's drenched. So yeah, no, that's not the case. But you got a good workout. Well, one, whenever you come out of it unscathed, no injury, no problems, no nothing got worse. Let's say that I went into this workout and every workout for the past 3 weeks with a problem in my back. But anyways, you had a good workout. Whenever that happens, you got a good pump, and while you're in the middle of posing, you start to get really fucking sore. I mean, my chest, my shoulders, my triceps, I guess from that pressing, everything fucking sore as shit. So I know I did something. Whether I did something right, I don't know. But I definitely did something because I felt it, man. I know it's not bicep day, but just getting a little look. I'm satisfied. Um, Great workout. Chest is pumped up. Like I said, my even my shoulders and triceps are a little not bad. I mean, by the time I hit triceps or shoulders this week, if I even do, they'll be good to go. But right now they're pretty sore. Um, but yeah, I got nothing else to add. Let's I'm gonna go home. Eat me probably about 6 ounces of chicken. I think that's what I meal prepped with some potatoes, um, and like a half cup of green beans. I think I have. I don't even remember. Um, I'm scatterbrained today, but yeah, do that. I'll actually probably drink a protein. No, no. Anyways, I'll drink a protein shake at some time, but I don't want to do it before I eat because then it'll kind of suppress my appetite. I want to make sure I get all that protein in and good vitamins and carbs from the potatoes. What carbs I can get. So, and then tomorrow, back and biceps. So that's it for today.